Alright everybody, welcome to the video that I will be doing on the S&P 500, but this is going to be really great for anybody interested in Elliott Wave Analysis, because what I'm going to go through today is, it's going to be perfect to be applied to really any market, any asset. If you're interested in Elliott Wave in any way, this is the video for you. All right, so before I get into any of this, of course, we'll turn down the audio here. This is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You are responsible for your own trades, managing your own risks, doing your own research, and this is just my opinion. So let's go ahead and take a look at the chart. All right, so we're looking at the S&P. We're looking at the S&P 500 E-mini futures, ticker ES1, and I've got just a blank chart here. What I want to focus on as I'm looking at this chart, and this is meant to be an Elliott Wave analysis. I'm gonna first start to look for corrections, and there's a couple really clear corrections that we can see here on the chart. I've got one guy right here. We've got a nice A, B, C right there. All right, so we can agree that is a correction, A, B, C right there. Another one that's pretty clear is going to be this guy, A, B, C right there. That's a pretty clear one as well. We can see some others as well, which we'll go ahead and mark. We can see that right here, there's a nice little A, B, C right there. We have corrections along the way. And of course, something much bigger happened here, which we're going to talk about that as we go through the analysis today. What we're trying to figure out is, are we topping out here? Are we done? Is this move done? Do we have higher to go? I'm actually going to move myself to a 4-hour chart just so that I can get, make it just a little clearer so it's not so cluttered. You'll notice on my chart, and if Jay is watching, he'll appreciate this. I don't have any indicators on my chart. I don't have anything. It's just candles. I don't even have volume on here. I don't care about volume at the moment. So what I want to do is I want to do my measurements. And I do my measurements both with fib, but I also do the trend-based fib extension, where I'm basically measuring a dominant low, a dominant high, and a pullback. All right. I've got a couple things that I've already got on here. Let me just pull this over to the side just so that I can explain what I've got and why I've got it there. All right, so when you're looking at this, basically what you're saying is you've got the start of a move, whether it's going to be up or down, right? This can be going down as well. You've got the start of a move, something that finished, and then it pulled back. So this pullback is going to be where we're doing our ABC corrections. Then what you've got to the upside, I've got the 618, the 100, the 123.6. Just for clarity, these guys right here are targets for a correction. This right here, the 1618 to the 175, these are targets for an impulse, for a wave 3. All right, so just to put that out there, and it can be as simple as that. Is it a correction or is it an impulse? And that is going to be, a very good indication of where the market is to go. So the very first thing that I'm going to do here, I'm going to take a look at this. And I'm going to just pull as if we only had just a little bit of data here. Okay, so I'm going to basically say we've got a pretty dominant pivot down here. And then we've got a move to the upside. And then we have a correction. So what do I have here? I have two scenarios. Is it going to be a corrective target or is it going to be an impulsive target? So I know that I can go to any of these guys here. But if I'm going to be targeting an impulse, I'm going to be looking for the 1618 to the 175. All right. And for the 175, it's going to be about 32.30. All right, approximately. So we go and we see a few different things happening here. All right, let me just kind of compress this as we pull out some of the details here. We did stall between the 100 and 123.6. And initially, okay, what I was seeing is this was a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then what I was looking for was an A, B, C, okay? This was my bearish count. This would have been the top. Well, what I was looking for was a 1, 2, and a much sharper 3 wave down. That obviously didn't happen. And I don't know if you guys were around on the Discord. We were talking about there not being an accelerated move to the downside. There was no accelerated or selling pressure. There was no accelerated selling at the time, and it was being bought up. And it was actually these two candles right here where we were looking at this, and it didn't look like it was going to go down any further. So that was good for a correction. Okay, so that means at that point we're going to be looking for a move to either the 1618 to the 175. Now let me just pull this guy over, and you can see something very interesting here. So right there, going to try and get it as close as I can. So let me just zoom in on this down here. Hope you guys can hear me okay. We're going to pull this in here just to make sure that we've got our dominant pivot low and then our dominant pivot here to the upside, okay, and then the pullback. So let's fix this pullback because the pullback is not quite perfect. Let's just try and get it as close as we can, about right there, okay. So now that we've got that, we know that we're going to be targeting the 1618 to the 175, and look where we went. Look where we went. We went to the 175, okay. So almost to the tick. We went like what, pennies? Maybe a quarter, 50 cents on the other side. We did not close a 4-hour candle above that 175. So that would have been a perfect target for us up here at the 175. So that was great. Okay. Now this is really important because we are basically drafting what the future is going to be playing out because we're still in this impulse. Okay. Because what this is, based on what I can see here, we've got a 1, we've got a 2. This right here is our target for a 3. And let's just talk about this 4 right here. We'll do that here in a minute. And then, of course, we have an upside target of the 5. We'll talk about that as well later. So now we know we've got this. I'm going to pull this guy back. I'm going to pull him over here because he's going to kind of just hang out for a minute. We're going to keep this though, because wave 5 is going to be a measurement of wave 1. Okay, so we'll get there. We'll just bear with me. So we know that we hit the 175 on this wave 3. So we know that we should go back 38.2% approximately for a wave 4. Did we do that? We use our fib retracement. We're going to be ticking off down here, the bottom of this wave 2. I'm going to try and get this. My mouse usually doesn't cooperate with me. All right, there's that. And let's go up here to the wave 3. Again, trying to get it as close as possible. Let's just zoom in. Zoom in on this here and look at this. Trying to tick it off pretty much to the top. I can probably pull it down. What is our actual top here? So that one went to 32.31. That one went to 32.31.25. So let's just pull this down. Oh, too far. It's close enough. And we bottomed out here at the 382. This, again, for wave 4, this is our target at the 382. And look where we landed. We landed right at the 382. I mean, it's textbook Elliott Wave. Okay? This is textbook here. So we've gone up to the 3. This is our 4. I mean, this is the 4 because we expect it to come down to the 382, and that's exactly where it came down to. So this is perfect. So far, this is like, I titled this Algo City because we hit the 175. Perfect technical pivot. We came to the 382. Perfect wave 4. Okay? Our first target is going to be up here at 34.22.25. Now we've been talking about 3,400 for a while now, so I'm just going to put that out there. But what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take this guy, which I put over to the side, and I'm going to start him at the bottom of wave 4. And look at where we're stopping. We are stopping at 100% of wave 1, or sorry, 100% wave 5 compared to wave 1. Okay? So we are stalling here, and this is a perfect place to be stalling because again, look at this. I mean, we are again hitting this technical target. Now we are pounding, trying to pound and push through, okay? This is basically like a front run. We hit it, we're trying to hit it, we didn't quite hit it. We're trying to push through this guy right here, which is sitting at 33.83, or if you're playing SPY, this is 338. All right, we're pushing through this. We're trying to push through here. Now, this is wave 5 that we are in. I think we can all agree that this is wave 5. What do we have right here? We have a correction. So what I'm counting this as is a 1, ABC into the 2, and I'm going to change the degree on this here in a minute. And then I'm going to say we've got a 3, 4, 5 somewhere up here, and we're going to put this on a smaller degree. Okay, so one way or another, we look like we've got a completed 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this looks like a completed 1, 2, 3, 4. We're trying to determine whether or not this 5 is complete. All right, because we're hitting 100% the length of the 1 starting from or projected from the start of wave 5. That's where we are right now. But what we can see is we can see a 1, 2 because wave 5 is going to have 5 waves of its own, and this is clearly a 1, 2. Okay, so again, I'm going to take this guy, I'm going to kind of pull him over here so he's out of the way because we're going to do this again. Because just like we did previously, 1, 2, measuring that, I'm going to measure this guy over here, and let's just look and see what we've got. Because I think what we'll find is pretty interesting. So from down here, and I'd really prefer to just get this as perfect as possible. So right here, we're going to do the 1, 2. All right, so let's just measure this guy. Starting from down here, going all the way up to this dominant pivot, and then pulling back right there. Okay, so we're pulling back to this guy. We've got our dominant pivot low, our dominant pivot high, and then our correction. So we've got an impulse here into the 1, A, B, C, into the 2. Now we go in for wave 3, and what is our high probability target for wave 3? If you didn't say it, it's the 1618 to the 175. And let's see where we are right now. Right now, we are hitting inside of this zone yet again, okay? So this is, this is Algo City. This is just like, this is perfect for any Elliott strategist. This is perfect. Let me just pull this guy over here. I need to get rid of that, move him out of the way, because I got to get that tick again. Get it as close as I can right there. And look, we're hitting this 175 zone, all right? I believe the 3 is in. Okay, I believe the 3 is in. So, if the 3 is in, we should be going back 38.2% to go down to this wave 4. Okay, so let me just remove this guy. No, I'm going to keep him there. I'm going to pull him up here so he's just kind of hanging out. All right, he's just going to be hanging out there. We're going to measure the length of this wave 3 and see where our algo target to the downside is. All right, so again, we're going to just kind of tag this guy right there. We're going to go up to our dominant pivot high right here, assuming we don't keep going. Now, we can keep going, right? Obviously, we can keep going. What I'm going to be looking for here is a place to buy back or buy in if I'm not in right now. This would be the place to go. And that right now is currently sitting at 32.30. All right. I've got a couple, technical, technical supports here. This was previously resistance. It became support, and then, we kind of broke down a little bit, pushed up. It kind of got tested a few times as support. I would expect this to be pretty strong support now, especially since we've gone up so high. Honestly, I would really expect like 32.75 to hold, but the algo target to the downside right now is 32.30. Now, if we do happen to go up a little bit more, I will reevaluate. and more than likely, if this does happen to go up higher, I would probably expect it to go to 34.50. And if it does go to 34.50, then we can look for a move down here to 32.70. But for right now, this looks like it is the technical pivot, the technical target based on the 161.8 to the 175. So this is good. This is good here. So if we are to pull back, it'll probably pull back to 32.30. What you're going to have a lot of people trying to short the market, a lot of people getting puts, and they're going to be the ones that are going to get put in their place because the market's not ready to correct yet. All right. So let's just say in a perfect world, because now we're talking about the future. Now we're talking about something that has not happened yet. All right. But what we can see, of course, is this is our technical target up here. And what happened the last time we hit the 175? It happened right here. We went back. We retraced 38.2% of the move. Okay. So if we're going to stall out here, and I have reason to believe that we might, well, we've got our target right here at 32.30, and I'm glad that I zoomed out because look at what this is in confluence with. This is perfect. It couldn't be better. That guy right there. Let's just tick this guy off right here. 32.31.25 and the 382 is at 32.31. How much more perfect do you want that to be? How much more perfect can it be? So far, this is Algo City. This is Algo City. This is perfect, you guys. I have no reason to believe that there's not software that is controlling this market based on everything that I see here. I'll pull back to 32.30 and a bounce from there. That would be phenomenal. I would love that. And where's our target to the upside? Well, let's pull this guy down because again, what this is a measurement of, oh man, this is just great. This is a measurement of this wave 1 projected from our proposed wave 4. So assuming we get this move to the downside, all right, let me get my polyline tool, all right. Assuming we get this move down, we should then expect 5 waves up. A nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the target here would be 34.62. We could get an extension. We could get a blow off top. At that point, we're really kind of, what we're trying to do now is predict the future, which one cannot do. We can just look at high probability moves based on what we've seen so far. And based on what I've seen so far is we're probably going to get stalled out here at the 100. Maybe we go a little bit further to the real algo target, which is at 34.78, or really 3,500, right? If you wanted to be nice and even, it's really looking at a move to 3,500, right? That would be up here at the 123.6 of the first move. But this is all looking really good for there to be some serious resistance here. And let me just put this in here because I think this is probably going to be it. Right here in this zone, you've got so many algos that are going to be sitting in looking to sell, right? I would be looking to get out at 34.60, 34.70, somewhere in this range. Assuming you get the buy down here at 32.30, right? Don't be afraid, right? Because scared money doesn't make money. Don't be afraid to buy when it comes down here to 382. So far, this is highly technical, and this is really, really good. This looks so good. So if this does a pullback next week, look for that move to take us to all-time highs, right? We know that we've got a high sitting over here. We're going to push through it, right? I'd be willing to bet that we're going to push through it after we do a pullback, right? Because what the narrative that's going to happen here, you're going to have a lot of people just psychologically thinking about this and saying, okay, well, we're not going to make an all-time high, so I'm just going to go ahead and do a repeat of what happened back here. Okay, they're going to say, all right, well, we're not going to break through this zone, so I'm just going to go all in on short and they're going to look like a genius because the market's going to go down. But what's going to happen? This little sucker is going to bounce back and go higher. That's going to get them trapped. But the real trap is going to be right up here, right up there, where we're going to break the all-time high, right? Just think about this. Think about this from a smart money's perspective. I mean, if you're going to rob people, the first thing you're going to do is get people to think the market is going down and you're going to get them to short the market. Then you're going to squeeze them out of position when you go to make all-time highs. But then you're going to have the people that are going to be FOMOing in when they've missed this entire move. They missed this entire move. You're going to get them FOMOing in when we're on all-time highs. And look at all these algos that we've got just sitting here just waiting to close out a position. They're just going to be sitting there waiting to sell. And so not only did the market movers squeeze out these short positions that were opened, they're going to have all these long positions that are going to get annihilated when we do make another move down. Now, time frame for this is always iffy. Nobody knows the time frame for this. I tend to believe that it's going to happen before the elections. How far before, that is another question. We really don't know. But what I do know is so far, this move up has been very, very technical in more ways than one. You know, we measured the length of the one, projected from the length of the two. We hit the 175. We retraced 38.2%, which is ultimately the highest probability target for a wave 4. So then we take the measurement of wave 1, we project it from wave 4, and we are getting resistance here at the 100, which happens to be 175% of this wave 1 measured from this wave 2, which is exactly what happened on this way up. Then we pulled back 38.2%. All right, now we're taking a look at this going maybe to the 123.6 twice. Okay, so we're taking measurement of wave 1 projected from wave 4. The 123.6 is sitting right up here. We measure wave 3, expect to move back to the 382. The 236 extension, their high probability target to the upside for a wave 5, is sitting there at the negative 236. And then again, we've got measure this wave 1 projected from our expected wave 4, and you've got the 123.6 right up here. All of this is telling me that we are more than likely going to pull back significantly from here. If anything, I would be willing to open up a hedge short position in this area up here, and maybe it blows through it. Maybe it blows through. But what we've got right now, we have a trade setup, which is going to be right here at this 382. Okay, right there at the 382. You can take that trade. That's 7.5%. You could take it up a little bit higher. I would be willing to close this thing, much lower, 7.25%. But your stop loss, I mean, you're talking what, 1%? Stop loss at the 50. Give it a little bit of room. But this move was highly technical. Right here, this was the 382, right? We covered this. So if we do pull back from here, I would expect the move to the 382 to be technical as well. That is where I would be looking for some high quality long positions, and to be looking to, or just sit in equity if you'd like, if you don't want the added risk. This looks like a very highly technical move down if we make this move down. And then you've got your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to take us up here, which is going to complete the move, guys. This is going to complete the move. This 5, wherever this 5 lands, is going to complete whatever move we have been working on and grinding with this entirety. Highly technical. This is a 1, 2. This was the 3 because again it was that technical target. This was the 4 because of the 382, right? This was not an ABC, right? This is a 1, 2, 3. This was the 4 because of the technical pivot. So we work on the 5. We work on the 5. We're hitting the 100 right now, right? 100% the length of the 1 projected from the start of the 4, right? but we're looking for this 1236, the 1236. Now, we know we can't go this high. We can't go all the way up here to 3,700. We can't do that. That's too far. Not in this move. We're going to get rejected here. Then we do a pullback. We wait to see what happens there. Then we can take another long position. But for right now, I think more than likely, if we do not push beyond where we currently have a high, and I know this is a little bit of a contradiction to my last S&P video, which I had projected would continue to go higher. But I did a lot of reflecting on the charts, and this is what I think is the highest probability move right now. Okay, so we're looking for that red box. Red box right there. That is where I'm looking for things to go. And we've covered the reason why. We do not know the time frame for us to get up there. I think that next week is going to be red. Week after that is where the green is going to come into play. So by the end of the month, we should be up here at 34 to 35. Okay. Next week, probably will go down. Next Friday, probably will be the end of this. Then we take that move up. Don't be afraid to buy. Again, you heard it here. This is where this should land, and it is in high confluence with this high over here. So I would have no reason to believe that this is going to be a highly technical pivot to the downside, and then we finish that move. And I'll be ready to close out this position a little bit early, right? I don't want to get front ran. I don't want to catch the entire move. I think I can catch the bottom. Okay, I think I can catch the bottom, but I'm not interested in catching the top. I'll take my profit. Take your profit, okay? Because this is, I mean, it's really too good to be true, which leads me to believe that I might be wrong, but I'm willing to take the risk because so far this looks very, very good. This looks good. If you're just joining in, I highly suggest you go back and watch the whole thing. I've seen a few of you have just popped in over the last few minutes. It'll be very beneficial for you to watch the whole thing because you want to see the whole thing. Something that I will just add in here as a note, a side note. What this looks like here, this guy right here, this A, B, C, potentially an ABC right there. It almost looks like that move is actually complete, which is pretty darn interesting. Again, let's just measure it. This is not something that I have done. I'm just going to kind of estimate this. All right. So again, what we can see here, we hit the 175, which, this looks like a 1, 2, 3, which got a lot of people caught that this is going to be the 4, and then we'd continue moving down. And I was of the opinion back here that was going to happen as well. But then we did obviously move up and out of this. So it did go a little bit deeper than I expected for a correction, but the way that we have come up and out of this makes me think that this was probably as low as we're going to get anytime soon. So we're just gonna have to wait and see how things go, because it's possible that this is just an A, and then we're gonna go down for the B, and we go up for the C, and then we go down lower. Now we're talking years at this point, right? If this was the A, this will have taken how long? If it happens by the end of September, right? So if I'm wrong and it goes a little longer than that, we're talking 191 days for the first part of this, right? So if this is an A, we go down for the B, we go up for the C. We're talking that this could go into 2021, 2022. Lots of money to be made here, but just, this is an impulse, right? This is 5 waves. We're working on the 5th wave, right? But we could have a 5-3-5 correction, right? If this is the A, we work on, an ABC, and then we go down for the C, right? Which again can take us down to our target of 2,000. Now, again, we're talking years here. We're not talking about tomorrow. The move tomorrow is going to be probably a decline if we do not take out that 175, which we have discussed thoroughly already. I won't cover it again. But if we don't push above that 175, then our target to the downside is going to be here at 32.31. So once we get to that 32.31, don't try and catch the bottom. Put some nibbles at 32.35, right? Or 323.50. Maybe you want to put a bid at 324. Okay? Don't be a hero and try and catch the bottom. Layer in some little bids down here where this 382 is, just right above it. Okay? Let them fill. Put your stop loss, right here on the other side of this guy. This would be a good place for a stop loss, right here at 31 or 318, 319. Seems like a pretty decent place for a stop loss, but your target to the upside is going to be right up here. I would start closing that position out at 346. Definitely be completely out at 350. Get out at 350 or 3,500. All right, that is a perfect, in my opinion, it's a beautiful Elliott wave. I don't need to look for triangles. I don't need to look for wedges. I'm just looking for the technical pullbacks, and it has been just beautiful. So I have no reason to believe this is not what's happening, because it does look like it is. Nice 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to finish that move. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you tonight. Thanks for joining me this evening. I'm glad to have at least a couple people on here. Let's see, if you have any questions or anything, feel free to pop in the Discord and ask away. If you want access to the Discord, just throw a comment in the YouTube chat. I'll be more than happy to get an invite code out to you. And it's late. It's 11:30 p.m. on Friday night. I guess I've got nothing else better to do. So wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, a good night, and a good evening.